some families where when the man of the house or the husband comes, he enters through the door. All the children, they scatter into the bedroom, and even the wife becomes busy with other activities because the man of the house has come. Now, in such aspects, when you find that you are feeling fearful and anxious and you must walk on eggshells around your spouse, then there is a problem. When you feel like you've lost your identity, your confidence, and your joy, you no longer know who you are no longer bold, and you are no longer happy in your marriage, then you know that you are experiencing abuse in your relationship. When you find yourself justifying or covering up your partner's behavior to others, that is also another aspect or another sign of showing you that you are experiencing abuse. You don't need to justify or cover up your partner's behavior to others when they notice that your partner is abusing you, humiliating you in public. Your partner is humiliating you in the shops, in the hotels, in the restaurants, abusing you and calling you name, and you want to justify or cover up for your partner's behavior to others. That is not right. uh, Sometimes you find that you wonder if you are the problem because your spouse always blames you. That is another sign to show you that you are going through abuse in your relationship. You're going through abuse in your marriage. Now, the important truth for us to know is that abuse is not love. Abuse is not love. In a godly marriage, love is patient, love is kind, love is protective, and it is also respectful. You find this in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4 to 7 and Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25. These are important scriptures that you need to go and read. Abuse destroys, controls, and instills fear. Abuse destroys, controls, and instills fear. So, when you are going through some of these things in your marriage, you should know that you are going through marital abuse. Now, I have created a checklist, a marriage abuse self checklist, to help you know and to help you understand that you are going through abuse in your relationship. Now, the first checklist is on physical safety. Ask yourself, do I feel unsafe or threatened in my spouse's presence? Do I feel unsafe or threatened in my spouse's presence? Has my spouse ever hit, slapped, pushed, or physically hurt me in anger? Um, do I feel fear when my spouse is angry? Now, that is a checklist on your physical safety. Now, when it comes to your respect and dignity, um, ask yourself this question: does my spouse call me hurtful names, belittle me, or constantly criticize me? Do I feel like my opinions, feelings, and needs don't matter? And the third one is, do I find myself apologizing all the time just to keep the peace? Then this is a checklist for respect and dignity. A checklist for control and freedom is, you need to ask yourself, am I free to make decisions about my own life, work, money, and friendships? Am I free to make decisions about my own life, work, money, and friendships? Does my spouse from my family, friends, or even church? Do I feel monitored, controlled, or restricted in what I do? These things are happening to you, then you need to know that your control and your freedom is at stake here. The checklist for financial well-being is, you need to ask yourself, am I allowed to access family money freely and responsibly? Am I allowed to access family money freely and responsibly? Does my spouse withhold money, force me to account for every coin, or keep me financially dependent? Does your partner withhold money from you, force you to account for every coin, or keep you financially dependent? And the third checklist under financial well-being is, do I feel trapped because I cannot support myself if I have to leave? Do I feel trapped because I cannot support myself if I must leave this marriage. Now, the checklist on sexual boundaries is: does my spouse pressure me into sex when I do not want to? Does my spouse force me into sexual activities? Are my boundaries and comfort respected in intimacy? Do I feel used rather than loved or cherished? Do I feel used rather than loved or cherished? Now, the checklist for spiritual health is: does my spouse use scripture or faith to control me instead of to love and to guide me? Am I encouraged to grow in God, or am I shamed and silenced using religion, using the Bible? Do I feel distant from God because of constant manipulation in His name? This is under spiritual health. Now, under emotional well-being is: you need to ask yourself, this is a checklist again: do I often feel worthless, unloved, or hopeless in this marriage? Do I feel like I've lost my identity, dreams, or self-worth? And am I afraid to speak my mind because of possible reactions? Now, if your answer is yes to several of these, it may be a sign that you are facing abuse. Now, abuse is not just about a single incident. Abuse is not just about a single incident. It is often a pattern of control, disrespect, and harm. Okay? It is a pattern. Remember, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. That is 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. If your marriage is driven by fear instead of love, something is deeply wrong. I will repeat again. If your marriage is driven by fear instead of love, something is deeply wrong. Yes. Now, um, if you realize that you are in an abusive marriage, as I said that today I'm talking about abuse in marriage or marital abuse. If you realize that in an abusive marriage, the first thing that you need to do is to acknowledge the truth. Acknowledge the truth. Don't minimize or excuse abuse in marriage. Abuse is real and it is not your fault. Okay? Remind yourself again that this is not what God designed marriage to be. God did not design marriage to be abusive. So, because God Himself is love, and He told us as husbands to love our wives, even as Christ loved the church. So, Christ does not abuse His church. He does not mistreat His church. He does not um, impose suffering on His church willingly. Christ leads by love. So abuse is about control and not love. So it is important for you to understand these things and avoid them. Number two, you need to seek safety first if you're going through abuse in your marriage. If you're in physical danger, prioritize getting to a safe place, even temporarily. Okay, if your husband has become physical, or your wife, and they are beating you, they are hitting you, then you may need to move to a safe place. And then also have a safety plan. Know where you could go, that is to friends, to family, to a church elder, or to a shelter when you have been exposed to abuse. And then number three, keep important documents, some money and essentials in a safe place in case of an emergency. So safety is very, very important. Number three, when you realize that you are in an abusive relationship, you are in an abusive marriage, reach out for support. Don't carry that abuse alone. Confide in a trusted friend, a pastor, or a family member. Number two, join a support group. Many churches and organizations have them. So join a support group to help you go through abuse in your marriage. Number three, seek professional help. Christian counselors or trauma therapists can guide you through the healing process. So don't be alone in abuse. Don't stay alone when you're being abused. Don't keep to yourself. Don't carry it alone, because when you do that, that is the reason as why you find that many partners they kill themselves. Many people kill themselves because they are not reaching out for support. They kill themselves because they are not getting help, and they are experiencing abuse in their families and in their marriages. So don't carry it alone. Confide in that trusted friend, in that pastor, in that family member, provided they can be trusted. Confide in them. Join that support group and seek professional help. Number 4, set healthy boundaries. Abuse thrives where there are no boundaries. Very, very important. Abuse thrives where there are no boundaries. Learn to say, this is not acceptable, family. And tell your partner, I will not accept this. This is not acceptable. I will not accept it. Okay? Be firm when you're saying this.